Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alana Carmen. Today we're going to be talking about how to have laser-like focus in a distracted world. We've never had as many distractions now as we've ever had in history. And we're creating empires for other people. So my question to you is, where is your empire? Stop wasting your human potential. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at practical, life-changing steps that you can begin to do to begin to focus in a very distracted world and to have laser-like focus. So the first thing that you can do is to remove all form of distraction. So the type of distractions we tend to have are things like, as you know, like our phones, social media, our laptop, and all other forms of technology. So I'd like to set a challenge for you. The challenge here is going to be for you to take a technology fast. Now, anything you do in your life is about taking gradual steps so that it's practical, it's realistic, and it's something that you can take and do straight away. So my advice to you here would be to start off with a couple of hours in the day, and everyone's day is completely different. So choose a few hours where you can leave your phone, leave all form of technology, and maybe do something else during the day. And begin to notice any differences you have in your day-to-day life. Now, my next challenge for you here, now this is very, very difficult to do, is for you to take half a day in the week. Half a day in the week from all form of technology. If you manage to do this, I'd love you to write down in the comments section. Let me know, were you able to do it? Were you able to do it, and how was it for you? And share with us, let us know, what did you do? How did you go about it? Did you manage to do it the whole way around? Or did you find that you had to start off with an hour, build it to half a day? And let us, share with everybody else and let us know what you found worked best for you to be able to do it. And then my final challenge here for you, now there's nothing is impossible, okay? So the word impossible has the word I'm possible in it. So this is something that can be done. Now I know what you're thinking, but my next challenge here is a full day. This is life-changing, and your life will change completely. So do give it a go. And again, if you want to share with us exactly how you find it, I'd be really excited to hear from you. How you got on with this, and when did you do it, what time during the day, and what did you do during the day instead of being on technology. You never know, maybe you might find something new, you might, start a new hobby or learn a new skill, or let us know what it was that you did. Okay, so action step number 2 on how to have laser-like focus is something called cognitive optimization. Now, it's quite a mouthful. I said cognitive optimization, and that involves 3 steps. Okay, so you have one is sleep, the other one is diet, and finally the third one is exercise. So really quickly, now, I do appreciate a couple of things here, okay? We need to be realistic and practical. When we talk about sleep, I do appreciate we've had a year and a half of absolute hell, okay? COVID has completely changed people's lives. People's lives have turned upside down. I know that a lot of people have lost their jobs. I know that a lot of people have become ill. And I know that the death rates were probably from stress. Because stress is the number one killer, and stress does kill. It causes illnesses, it causes disease, and I do appreciate that that's really had a huge impact on not only people's lives but on sleep as well, because when you're stressed it can have a massive impact and can cause insomnia. So I fully appreciate that. But there is something to bear in mind about sleep. And this is something, I encourage you to at least give it a go, is if you wake up before 6 a.m., it has been proven that your brain is in theta and alpha mode. So your mind is capable of very deep and profound learning, and you don't actually have to work as hard to actually work before that time. Now, maybe you could possibly look into maybe sleeping earlier, but work your way towards it, because like I said, I know what it's been like with COVID, and also I know that people do have as well like medical conditions, or they might suffer from insomnia, or there's always different factors that affect sleep. And I know that sometimes people as well do work throughout the night. So it's just looking at maybe bearing this in mind, even if it's just something you do once a week. So perhaps looking into that and then building your way up to that as well. So another thing is diet. Again, this can be really simple because, you know, we have very, very busy lives. So it can be maybe just replacing a few things. So maybe look into incorporating a few things that can help you to focus, and just bearing in mind that that sugar is poison. It's real poison from the body. Things like fizzy drinks, coffee and tea is fine if it's done in balance, but just bearing in mind that there are certain things that really will distract you. And there are other things as well, like maybe just keeping a little bit of balance that would really help you to focus more. And finally, maybe including a few things like just replacing things like maybe even putting things like nuts instead of crisps, or just trying your best to swap a few things around. And finally, the third one is exercise. Again, I know with COVID how it's been, so realistically, even going out for a walk is good enough at the moment until life starts to get back to normal, and then building your way up from there and getting back into things. Now, the third step on how to have laser-like focus in a very distracted world that we currently live in is something called the Alpen method. Okay, so in really simple terms, that's quite simply planning for distractions in your day. Okay, so you know that you're going to be distracted during the day. So things will come up, and they are going to. That's life. Life has all kinds of challenges and distractions that come up. So it's building your schedule in a way where you know you're going to have distractions, but then also planning your schedule where you're going to get things done. Okay, because it's easy to say what you're going to do, but it's actually doing it. So that's what we're hoping to achieve. And as you know, life flies you by. So this does link into another point. One of the ways to become really focused is to check in on yourself and actually realize that you're here, so you're alive, and that's really something to really value and be very grateful for, because 120 people actually die per minute, and there are a lot of people who are no longer with us and who don't have their loved ones around them. So it's really tapping into that and knowing that we actually do have that, and that's very, very precious and something that we really need to be extremely grateful for. But that does also help us to focus, because we think, right, okay, we're here now and this life is going to fly us by. So point number 4 so if we're moving on to the fourth point now on how to have focus, is to take a break from really negative distractions, so things that are incredibly negative, and one of them really is the news. Now, this is something that the impact that can have on your well-being is incredibly profound. I would not underestimate how much the news will distract you in your life. It absolutely poisons the body, because one of the quotes that I came across was, the more angry someone makes you, the more that they will control you. And the media has a way of controlling people through anger. Okay, so you see something, you react to it, and now you're angry. A lot of it is out of your control. I don't know how much we question what we hear on the media anyway. And then on top of that, we're also looking at hearing things which we don't even see in our day-to-day lives. For every one negative story, there are thousands and thousands of positive stories. I don't think I've ever heard a positive story that's been related on the news. And that goes for anything else that causes this negativity within us, which is a distraction, because understandably, you're going to be upset when you hear something that's upsetting. So taking detox from these things is really, really helpful and will help you to be more productive, because what you can do is you can contribute towards making the world a better place, because what we're hearing is sometimes words don't come together on what we're really hearing. So the fifth point on how to have laser-like focus is to do what's called creating a muscle within yourself. So just like when you go to the gym, what you're doing is you're building muscle. Okay, so you'll be building biceps, you'll be building triceps, or any other muscle in the body, and focus is like a muscle. So if you train it, it will become stronger. So what you can actually do is something called focus days. Okay, now these are days in the week where 80% of the day is just all about complete focus. So you know that day in the week is going to be about you building habits to become more focused. And give this a go. Okay, so try and do this. I know it sounds like you think, focus days, really, focus days, it does work. It really does work. But you have to try these things out, to give them a go. A lot of people, I've really studied, I've read a lot of books on this area, I've done a lot of research, and a lot of people who are extremely productive in their days, what they tend to do is they create a schedule just before they sleep. And they allow time for distraction, but this is going through their subconscious mind throughout the night. So it's going through their minds while they're asleep. And then when they wake up in the morning, they're already in that mode of knowing exactly what they're going to do. Then during the day, they create blocks. And even if you mix and match that up, because you've got those blocks during the day, you're going to get more done than you normally would. So it really does work. And let me know how you find it in the comments section. So the next point on how to have laser-like focus, we're moving on now, and I'm so excited on what I'm saying. I think I've lost track on which point we're on, but I'm sure we're on the next point, okay, is to have an accountability partner. Okay, so to have somebody, so this can be like a friend, it can be a family member, it can be anybody, just find somebody who is going to allow you to become accountable. Okay, so with this person, you can discuss your goals with them, you can motivate each other, you can sit down and say like, okay, what did you do? Did you have more focus in your life? What action steps did you take? What goals did you write down? And it's like a fun way of doing it. It's different. It's a little bit more exciting because sometimes we do need something a bit different to kind of pump us up a little bit, get us motivated and get us going. So it's something I'd really encourage. And now you have somebody who's going to question you and going to say, have you done it? Have you actually followed what you said you were going to do? Finally, the next point is to set higher standards of yourself. Okay, so it's writing bigger goals. Now, what can happen? Sometimes if we're not careful, we can have something called Groundhog Day, where every single day just becomes the same. So what you're going to be finding is that every day is just a repeat of the day before. You're getting very comfortable with doing the same thing over and over again, and you're building the same habits. So wake up in the morning doing the same thing, having the same day, and then in the evening you have the same evening. And not only will you get bored this way, but also you become into a routine, and routines are really good for getting things done, but sometimes it is good to maybe question exactly what it is that you're doing and how you're going about doing it. So if you raise your standard of yourself, you do personal development on a regular basis, and you begin to aim higher, what you'll find is rather than being reactive, you become proactive. Now, what does reactive mean? Reactive means throughout the day, and this is very natural, can happen to anyone really. We can become very reactive to things. Something happens and we react. Okay, that's That's very something that can happen to all of us, and it involves a lot of inner work. Really, a lot of inner work from within when we react to things. So we have to constantly question why we're reacting. And every time you do, maybe look back within yourself and question why you've done that, and maybe try and change that around and become more proactive. Okay, so I really hope that that's been helpful for you. Remember, this is something that no one here is perfect. Okay, we're only human. We all make mistakes. We're discussing this now, and it's gradual, so it takes time putting it into practice. Every time you try and maybe you slip, go back again, have another go, and practically speaking, just build it up slowly and constantly question yourself, question what you're doing, question exactly how you're doing things. And I guarantee you, if you keep at it, you will get to a point where you'll start to notice changes in your life. It's been an absolute pleasure. I really look forward to speaking to you again, and I wish you the very, very best for your life and your future. Please do subscribe, and please do spread this message to your friends, your family, your loved ones, and everyone you know. It's really important you do that because this is very new. Nobody knows about this, and the idea is to spread this to as many people as possible. All right, cheers. Thank you then. Bye-bye now.